Hello everyone, Phoenix61 here. How is it going? We have your World of Warships Legends shenanigans for the day. We are in the Pozharsky, right? So this is the new ship that kind of came along with the winter cyberpunk, themed update, right? So this is the one I went for. I did not go out and spend a bunch of money to get the Loria. I know some of you guys have done that and thoroughly enjoyed that ship, I am sure. But I went with sort of a less expensive route, so to speak, right? So you could get this ship kind of free-ish if you, submitted to the grind. That would have been, you'd still have to buy Admiralty backing, right? So the 2,500 doubloons, but then you would get, I did a video on this specifically, but you'd get the defense, right? The campaign ship, which is the legendary tier British cruiser. And then if you sort of saved your CyberSense currency throughout this the Cyberpunk update, right, you would have enough to get this ship, right? So I did pick it up a little bit early just because I had bought like some of the the Spectral Vault crates, right? So I had a few extra of the the CyberSense to get me the ship a little bit early, so then I've got some spending to do, right? So make sure you spend your CyberSense before the event is over, right? Otherwise you lose those. They do not carry over to, next year or future events, right? The developers always come up with a new currency when there are new events, so to speak, right? So, but yeah, so we are in kind of the beginning of the match here. We are trying to play our flank. We've got a battleship and destroyer here pushing in. We know the Achilles is more of a torpedo boat, so we're kind of trying to keep our distance, let our destroyer do most of the spotting for us here. Yeah, and so I'm trying to cherry pick the destroyer, right? It makes the most sense, right? We're in a cruiser, we're best suited to go after that destroyer and try and get him off the board as early as possible. We just aren't having the best luck, and then of course we get, in trying to dodge his torpedoes, we've now pushed ourselves further away, which makes him harder to hit, right? And we also gotta watch our broadside to the battleship that's out there, whatever that was, North Carolina, right? So trying to play it a little bit smart, a little bit conservative here, while we try to take control over this zone. The destroyer goes dark, right? Our allied destroyer is suffering on the health pool side, so he is kind of retreating, and we're just going to have to deal with that. Our short duration smoke screen does not last very long, so we are going to have to get an exit strategy going here for once we get spotted by this North Carolina. So once we come around out of the smoke screen, we're going to either turn in or turn away, right? Like we don't want to be broadside. So I chose to turn in and be a little bit more aggressive, try to help out our destroyer. We are up a tier, right? North Carolina is a tier 6, so, and then we should have smoke screen back fairly quickly here, and then so this does give us potential for, if he does keep pushing up, we could potentially use our torpedoes on him. So a little bit more of an aggressive move here. And you can see, we know the enemy destroyer is still in the zone because we're not getting these defends on this North Carolina as we get these hits, right? The zone's still getting capped. So we know their destroyer came back into the zone. And then here, if I need to, right, we'll use the heal. But if I needed to, we could potentially stop and drop the smoke screen, right? We were still within our smoke firing penalty, so if we wanted to go unspotted, we would have to stop firing our main guns. Got some torps coming from our allied destroyer behind us. We did trigger the sonar with the suspicion that the enemy destroyer was in the zone, so he's probably close enough for, sending torpedoes at us. We're getting nice penetration damage on the North Carolina, right? It's just taking a little bit of time to finally get his health down to the point where we can actually finish him off. More torpedoes from our ally. Hopefully one of those hits. That's going to finish him. It was kind of a waste for me to send our torpedoes, but that's fine. We got the job done. Gonna smoke up here and see kind of if we're within range of the smoke firing penalty for the destroyer, the enemy destroyer, right? So if we remain spotted, we know he's still nearby, and if not, which we don't, We go undetected now, so we know he's not too close to us at the moment. We are capping the zone as well, so we'll just take advantage of the little bit of freedom we've been given here. But yeah, we are already up to 91,000 damage, and we've got both, you know, the ships on this flank are gone, with the exception of the destroyer, who's going to obviously send torpedoes through the smoke screen, right? Smart thing to do. Of course, can also kind of see our bullets flying out of the smoke. But yeah, you see here we get picked up, right? So we know that the destroyer can see us. Luckily, the Colorado's not looking in our direction, so we'll just take advantage of that. Try and get this zone capped, and just take cheap shots at him while he's not paying attention, right? But yeah, so you can see we were very close to getting the zone captured, and the enemy destroyer did the smart thing, which was he took some cheap shots at us and then ducked behind the island over there. That way he reset the capture, right? Very smart move. That was a good play by him. So we'll just have to continue to deal with that. There he is. Didn't quite, yeah, did it again, right? Just enough visibility to get that shot off on us to reset the cap, and then ducked behind cover. Very smart play. So we're gonna have to deal with him, right? If we could finish him off, we would sort of have free reign over this flank, but we're gonna have to deal with him. If we push out too much, that's gonna get the attention of those battleships out there, or at least the one remaining battleship, this Colorado, right? So we might be far enough away from the destroyer. We could try dropping our smoke here as we kind of peek around the corner, but he was ready for us and took that shot. So I'm slowing down and turning away. Luckily, it's HE. We go undetected. Somebody picks up the destroyer. He keeps wanting to reset the cap too. So we'll try and get rid of him. Every chance I get, I'm going to take that shot at that destroyer. I'm going to prioritize him. He sent torpedoes at us, as we would suspect. Able to dodge those. Got a little bit lucky there. I would say we didn't have the early warning of the sonar, right? But yeah, he's just taking those shots at us, getting the reset on the cap. So we're doing a little bit of a struggle bus here, but we're playing our flank, right? So we're gonna be stubborn about it just as much as he is. I may have to just push up on him at some point and try and just finish him off, right? So he can't go undetected anymore. But yeah, we are at 100,000 damage here. We'll get this flank eventually. And then we are up a couple of ships now as well. Yeah, so now that we're spotted by him again here, I'm going to guess, and I've kind of been looking in that direction, right? So he can see where our guns are, right? So we'll keep our guns kind of off to this side if we can. And then that way, if he does fire, maybe we can get a shot off on him. But I'm going to guess the same thing's going to happen here. Yep, so he moved out in front. Waited till he had a good shot at us, but we are a little bit closer to him now, so I'm wondering if we're maybe within range to keep him spotted and we can take him out, hopefully. We've got he's heading towards our destroyers as well, so maybe they can keep him spotted for us while we take these shots here. He's still within our smoke firing penalty. I think it's like 7.3 or something for this ship. Right, so we're technically still spotted, but we are able to finish him off. Now that gives us some free reign to push up, although we are low on health, right? One good salvo from the Colorado is going to take us out. So we'll do the conservative thing here and make sure we cap the zone. I was kind of trying to get a read on where this Akatsuki was going to go, right? Depending on if he was going to push around to the other side. Alright, Colorado's further out, so we might be able to get away with some shots here and then be able to push up and try and help with the destroyers. But yeah, I've been playing this ship a lot. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if it's, if you don't really like cruisers, it may not be for you. But it is turning out to be a pretty big, pretty good moneymaker, right? So if you typically have premium days, I have a lot of luck with a handful of tier 7 premium ships as far as silver earnings, right? So this one turned out to be pretty good. So I've been doing it quite a bit just to grind silver, right? Finish off the Colorado. That gives us 3 kills. 2 destroyers left. We should be able to help out with these guys as they get spotted by our friendly destroyer. Akatsuki, he's going to take torpedoes. Almost got that kill on him if he didn't take those torpedoes. That would have been our Kraken here if we can get this Fletcher too. And boosh, he is done. So I had 2 somewhat good games recently, so I actually have a second game queued up for us here as well. And then at the end of this next one, I will go through the commander build as well. But yeah, 3,300 XP puts us at the top fairly easily for the leaderboard. And then, like I said, yeah, I didn't even have any, like, you know, currency boosters or whatever right there. We were over 500,000 earnings in silver, right? So that seems to be pretty typical for me with this ship. Even if you lose, you still make a really good chunk of cash. So I've been playing them quite a bit. So a lot of times I like to go up the side here, right, and cover my flank. But I think right before I played this game, I had gone, you know, up to the right up here outside of B, and got like dub struck by like I think like a Georgia, like some American battleship. Just I was spotted for just a split second, and he had gotten the guns off, and it just ended me. So I was a little leery in this game to go back up that flank just because of the PTSD. But yeah, so I took a little bit more conservative route for like the next game that I played with the ship here. And we'll kind of piggyback off of where our destroyer goes and see if we can't just help support him from sort of the backfield here for at least for the beginning of this game, right? Till we get a good read on where the battleships and such are, right? So a fellow Pozharsky is out there, so we'll take some shots at him. We get spotted by the planes, but that's not a big deal, right? Ships can't lock onto you when you're only spotted by planes. And then somebody else comes in with smoke here. We've got rolling smoke from an Italian cruiser. So we'll hold off on using ours. Although we may have been helping spot things at this point, now to think about it. Yeah, zone's contested, and our destroyer doesn't want to be aggressive to go hunt that guy down. So we'll just be a little bit patient here. And then I'm going to trip sonar, right? As a destroyer player, if I was in that zone, I know that ships typically kind of hang out between these islands here or pass by them. And so I trip my sonar with the anticipation, you know, maybe somebody's dumping torpedoes this direction. So that'll give us a little bit earlier of a warning, especially since I moved up, right? And so we'll use our smoke here now. And hopefully we get some spots happening. And then, yep, I'm going to take this shot at this hipper. And then the destroyer does get spotted here. And he's, of course, just close enough to pick us up within that smoke firing penalty. So I backed up a little bit to try and get us unspotted. We'll see. Somebody got a really great hit on that hipper. So we'll see if we can finish him off. And we do. So first blood there. And then I just this destroyer here, I saw him smoking. And we still had 40 seconds left on sonar, right? So I can kind of use his smoke to cover us a little bit from this Iowa. I'm a little nervous about that other cruiser that was out there, right? But I kind of was like, all right, let's be a little aggressive here and see if we can't get rid of this destroyer, right? So pushing out, we get the early warning of his torpedoes because we've got sonar going, right? So should be able to thread the needle here and dodge those fairly easily. And then I'm going to hold off on firing at the Iowa so that we don't get picked up because of the smoke firing penalty. So this destroyer doesn't know we're here until we start firing our guns. And right, we'll be able to take him out pretty quickly. And then we're going to have to turn back into the right here because we know that Iowa's out there. And he would probably, if I was him, I would shoot at me, right? And so we'll park it here and drop our smoke and see if we can't get the zone capped. And the fellow Pozharsky out there took the shot at us, right? Makes sense. I would do the same. Friesland off in the distance. The are those skip bombers, right? Aircraft carriers going after our destroyer. This Friesland's really the only thing I've got to shoot at, right? And I know we're not locked onto him, but we can see where his guns are firing. So I was trying to get some hits on him, even though we couldn't, you know, technically see him, just to try and help out with destroyers. He's holding still for us there, but you know, odds are he's gonna start moving once my bullets start raining down. There, we got a couple hits on him there. Got the zone cap, so I'm trying to back up out of spotting view to see. We'll be careful with this Alabama here. He's not looking at us, so we can take advantage of that for the time being. But yeah, he's kind of right at the edge of our firing range, maybe a little bit less, so it's always a little bit harder to hit him. Got the carrier coming down on us, so I'm going to try and angle away from that. And that's about the least damage I've ever taken from a Chikholov in a cruiser ever, so we get lucky there. Unless it's like a Pobeda or something, like unless it's the regular tech line. I didn't take a look, I can't remember now. Yeah, we'll keep playing this flank, right? We'll see if we can't keep getting defends on this Bismarck in here. And then if he does keep pushing up, he was kind of close enough to potentially come into within our torpedo range. So I'll take those torpedo shots and then, you know, try and get turned back so that we're not broadside against him when he does spot us. Need somebody to pick him up. We've got people around the flank over by B now. Oh yeah, Shorenhurst. Okay. Yeah, he did a full 180, but we'll be able to get the hits on him to reset the zone capture. That way we keep the B hole in our hands. And defend banners are always great for XP earnings. And we might be able to tuck behind this little ledge here, this island here, to remain unspotted while we kind of, you know, pick on him for a little bit here. Need our destroyer. I'm looking at the mini map. Our destroyer just needs to move up a little bit, and then this guy should get picked up again. So I'll err on the side of caution here and just give it a second. There we go. And then we do get spotted, right, for real spotted by a ship. So I dropped the smoke here. I'm gonna guess it's the Shorenhurst, right? He is going after the cruiser and destroyer off to the other side here, right? So we're going to get some great angles on him here.
Smoke screen set.
Then yeah, with this ship, I typically, you know, against battleships, I'm typically aiming a little bit higher, right? Trying to get like superstructure and like upper, you know, side plating as opposed to trying to really punch through them. But yeah, somebody gets credit for the kill there. We are spotted at me. Yeah, it's probably this Alabama here. I'm a little like, you know, like just always a little cautious, like wondering if there's another destroyer or something around here, right? But we go undetected there for a second as the, you know, now we've got a little chunk of land in between me and the Alabama. So kind of was thinking it was him, but then it kind of keeps going in and out, right? And then it keeps saying plane, right? So yeah, I'm just being cautious here. We'll have to make sure we are angled appropriately because he looks like he was thinking about taking a shot at us here. Nope, he picked the carrier. And our carrier's doing smart thing, right? Trying to move away. We got kind of overrun on this opposite flank here. And then, yeah, we're going to just keep this little chunk of land in between us and him, and then that way we can remain undetected. Again, planes spotting us is fine. Ships can't lock onto you when it's the planes. And bit by bit, we can wear him down along with some help. And another fisted metal. See where we can push up to here now. I'm going to start heading kind of just in this general direction towards the enemy zones that they have capped. and just keep an eye on the mini-map where everybody's going. I'll go capture C, but only because you told me to, sir. We'll just have to be careful about this Iowa, right? He's going to be our biggest threat. Could take us out probably one salvo if we wanted to, right? If we're not angled right. And then we get spotted here, so we know there's a destroyer probably up in front of us in C. And so I'm going to keep an eye on where the Iowa's guns are pointed. Because if they start turning this direction, we will need to turn away from, you know, we'll need to angle right, either turn in or turn away.
Be ready.
I'm going to do the damage doing here while I can. Can we help with the Friesland? We're going to need somebody to spot him here. But then, yep, we're still spotted, so we know there's another destroyer somewhere, probably out in front of us here. You only have the one sonar charge left, right? So I'm kind of trying to be strategic about using that. Looks like they got rid of the Friesland. And then, yeah, we go unspotted again here, right? So just kind of trying to be careful here. We'll keep this a little bit of land in between us and the Iowa while we move up. And then we've got one smoke screen left here too, so we'll try and be strategic about using that. We do still have both of our health, our heals though, so that's kind of nice. Iowa's going to be in range. Carrier doesn't look like he's coming after me. Just need someone to spot. It's potentially us picking up the Iowa, but we're going to drop the smoke here. Alright, at least somebody, either somebody else can still see him, or we've got smoke firing penalty on him, so we'll take these shots, right? Nice, good, chunky hits here. Pop high caliber metal there. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Up to 124,000 damage with 2 kills in this game. Chikolov makes the mistake of not moving his carrier around the map as the game progresses, so we'll take advantage of this. I'll start pushing up. We've got our allied destroyer out here in front of us, right? So I'm a little less concerned about torpedoes at this point. I am still curious. There's their destroyer. Went all the way around and is behind A now. This is the difference between like two, a good carrier player versus not, someone not so great, right? You notice our carrier has been moving around the map. He's now coming through B and moved away and kind of, followed his allies around the map, versus this guy just kind of got himself into like a bad situation there by staying kind of near where he spawned probably. Fellow Pozharsky is low on health. We'll try and get both sets of turrets on him. We did have to open up a little bit of angle to get those rear turrets on him. But that pops kill number 4, right? So he got a good chunk of damage against us. That's fine, right? We've kind of got the game momentum going here now. 900 points. We are getting close to 1,000 here. We're getting the final zone capped. We'll see if we can't push around and get the Kraken on this Iowa. It's going to be a close one for sure, because there's 2 battleships off to my left that are probably going to fire at him at the same time that I do. Yeah, 2 zone caps, 2 assists, 4, maybe 5 kills with a high caliber medal, so this should be a pretty good scoring game. Just need him spotted. Taking the shot a little early because he's so low on health. The carrier's trying to get that last kill as well, but we managed to get it. And we pop the Kraken, and then that puts us over the top, over 1,000 points, so that ends the game. We'll quick take a peek at the leaderboard, and then I'll quick go through how I have the commander set up. But right, we are using Andrew the Lip, the most somewhat recent pirate-themed commander. Right, so 3,720 XP with the 5 kills. And then, yeah, another game with, I'm not even using a, like, currency booster, right? And we have over 600,000 in silver earned there, right? I almost always am using those if I have them, right? So I probably just didn't have any for this game. But aiming system, propulsion mod, concealment for slot 3, and then fire control system for the better accuracy there. And then Andrew the Lip, and then I'm using, he's got this base trait that buffs AP damage, and then I'm using you know, AP-centric inspirations to buff the AP shells even more. You only get AP shells with this, right? So you can see the theme that I'm going with here, right? And then, yeah, shell grouping dispersion, and then I am using refill station on this for this build. You guys know me, I do love me some fully packed to get those extra consumables, but that just seemed to, you know, refill station just seemed like a better choice here, especially with how we have the build set up. But yes, that's our video for the day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate those of you that are following me. We do Legends videos every day, so we'll see you guys again tomorrow.